Hello, I'm Maria from the Richardson's Homeschool Life. Today I thought I would take you on a little trip out just to our local walk. We normally take the dog down this walk, but it's a really interesting walk. In fact, I think that every walk that you go on is not only interesting, but it's educational. You can find educational value from any walk that you go on. So I thought I'd take you with us today to this walk. I was going to say a little walk, but it isn't really little. It's probably about a mile and a half maybe. Doesn't feel long. I'm trying to guess how long it might take, but yeah, it's one we do regular. It's really nice. I'm not going to tell you too much about it because I'll tell you on the walk roughly about things, and I'm not going to go into all the history and dates of everything, but I'm just going to show you where we go and just have a little talk about it so you can see what I mean by educational content. Now, this walk that we go on, it's brilliant. It features a few different things. So it'll cover history, it'll cover geography, science, art, definitely photography at certain times of the day, especially PE, because obviously it's a walk, so you can walk, run and get all your exercise, as any walk would do that. And also it's brilliant for nature studies, and again different times of the year and different types of nature studies. So it's probably really educational for loads of things, but they're off the top of my head the main subjects. This walk would incorporate all of them. In fact, we could go on this walk in the morning, take our sandwiches with us, and Sean could sit and do a whole day of school and covering all these different lessons without having to go anywhere else during that day, and you know, take it all in. And it's free. It's a free resource as well. So yeah, so I'm going to take you on this walk with us. And like I say, I'm not giving you all the history of everything. We'll have a little chat about things, but I'm not giving you all the history of the dates when this happened and that happened and everything. The walk where we start off is in a place called Tutbury, which is in Staffordshire, and we start off at a park which is called the Old Mill. It's Tutbury Mill Park, but we all refer to it around here as the Old Mill. So yeah, so you can guess what was there originally, and we're going to start off there. Now, if anybody is interested in the history of that, my son Sean, he's got a site, SAR Histories, and he did cover Tutbury Mill and told you all about it. So if anybody is interested in knowing more about the history side of it, then if you pop along to his channel and have a watch of the Tutbury Mill, then you'll see more about it. But with me, it's just a walk. I don't remember all the dates and things off the top of my head. I just remember stories and things I know from what I've been told as I grow up and, you know, living around places. So, yeah. We'll go and do that now then. And I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Any walk, anywhere is good for history or other learning. Where I am now is on the site of Tutbury Mill Park. The name gives it away. There used to be a mill here. Down there is part of the old Fleam. A lot of it's all silted up now though. Got to be careful because there's cars coming in and out, and I've nearly got run over once. So yeah, it was a mill, a cotton mill originally, and then after it ceased being a cotton mill, it became a mill for gypsum mill. We've got history boards because we're just right outside of Tutbury, and heritage walk parks. So yeah, it's very hard to imagine this as having been a mill, a cotton mill. I'll show you a bit more as we walk further down, because this is quite an interesting walk that we go on. This is where the mill itself would have stood, where I'm walking now. I can remember it from when I was a child, before it got pulled down. It was massive, big, huge brick building, numerous stories high. And I remember as a child walking down the road and thinking that it seemed dark when you walked down there because the buildings were so high and I was so small. Today it looks lovely. It's all green. Over on the other side they've built a park for older children, skateboarding and netball, baseball type court. Along that other side there would have been train trams running through, which took the trains over the River Dove to the Tutbury station to meet the goods trains, which brought things in and out. But nothing remains of that now. You can just see in the Dove itself the like the pillars where the track, which held the track. The track was there when we were children and was there until reasonably recent years ago. They took it down and dismantled a lot of it because it floods and the local villages were getting flooded because it was catching all the debris, slowing the stream of the river, backing up and flooding. So when they put in flood defences, they also put in, took the bridge down, I should say, and took the old track down. But when I was a child, people used to sit on it fishing off the edge. There's trees here. Here is a part for the little children, which is nice because it's all fenced in so they can't run off. And the gates swing behind you so no one can leave them open because they just swing shut. So that's quite nice. There is a little walkway through here. It's not much, just a few trees. In summer when all the leaves are on the trees, it's sort of all dark in there and children love running through the path. You can look carefully in the grounds. You can still see brickwork. There was a millstone buried in here somewhere. I don't know if it still is. But yeah, I can tell I'm not used to walking, I'm out of breath. I'm trying to keep up with Dean and the dog and Sean, they're so much faster than me. But this is one of our favourite walks, especially in summer. But it's nice all year round really. But yeah, where there's all mounds and things like that, if you like, there's all moundy. If you dig down you'll find bricks. There was lots of bricks. And it's not just bricks from the building itself. There's also bricks from the houses. There was a row of houses here that belonged to the mill, where millers' families would have lived in. We'll have a look where they were in a minute. Yeah, there's all kinds of bits and pieces. That's like part of an old wall. And you can see the fleam just beyond that, down there. Now I've seen photos, old photos of the fleam in its heyday, and it was massive. They had boats going down it. You'd never dream that now because it's just so narrow and most of it is silted up over time. Little walkways here and everywhere. But as you can see, you get flat ground and then it goes very moundy, and under those mounds would be bricks and debris from the buildings that were once here. And you see there, look, oh, that's dried up. That was once huge, extremely huge. So wherever you go, you can be talking about the history of somewhere. Not just history, obviously nature studies, because you've got wildlife and plant life everywhere. All kinds of studies. All that was all Mill Fleam, which is all river. I don't think I've ever seen it like this, all dry and just land. I wonder if you were to dig down like an archaeologist, what you'd find in there. It always interests me, this sort of thing. There you go. You can see old brickwork up against the other side, all caved in, and the road is over on that side. It used to be more like a dirt track road. I've seen pictures of it with horse and carts going along it, dusty sort of road, you know, like you'd have seen in the Wild West. It's from the 1800s. So what we're going to do, walk a bit further along. I'll show you the walk. It's quite a good walk that we do. We'll walk a bit further along. So I'll leave the site, which is part of the old mill, and I'll show you a bit more of what belonged to it and what else is so interesting about this walk. Okay, so there's a couple of the mill wheels. Reason I've come along by this part here, which is a bit lower the ground is because this was where the row of houses would have been. It's hard to imagine it now. If I can find some pictures, I'll insert some so you can see what it looked like as a mill. So I'm going to go up the embankment. So yeah, all along this row would have been a row of houses that belonged to the mill worker. Well, didn't belong to the mill workers, belonged to the mill, and the mill workers would have lived in them. And I'll just show you then what still remains of the mill that's still in use today. Well, it's not this bit, but I'll just sort of show you this bit, because all the trees that were there used to have apples and pears. There was a house there that belonged to the manager of the mill, and he had a lovely garden. There used to be coal frames here years and years and years ago, but obviously they've all gone. But we did used to come down and get apples and pears and make some lovely pies with the apples. But that's all that's left of it now. But it was a lovely orchard. But I'm going to swing round and show you what does still remain and is still in use from the time of the mill. Okay, so we're looking at the local cricket ground. Now the cricket ground was there during the time of the mill. Tutbury Mill, when it was a cotton mill, they were very sporty. They had their own teams for football, cricket and anything they could play really. They've had tug of war and they had teams. And Tutbury Mill had a Tutbury Mill that was in a place called Roaster, which is a few miles away from here, and it was like a sister factory. So they often had competitions between the two factories. In fact, my great great grandmother came from the village of Tutbury, and her family, and they worked at the cotton mills here, that was here, and she met my great granddad, who they'd moved up to Roaster for work, and his sisters were in the cotton mills, Tutbury Cotton Mill in Roaster. And somehow that's how they came to meet, probably at one of the functions. I don't know, probably never will know, but I'm assuming one of the many functions that they held is where they met each other and they got married, and the rest is history, as they say. So not only is this walk, I mean, we're going on a good walk now, about a mile and a half mile, but it's not the only thing of historical interest in this walk. Let's just look up above the cricket pitch. Can you see above there? You can see that? We have a castle. I'm going to walk along the riverbank now, the bank of the River Dove, and I'm going to show you parts of the castle that we can see. Okay, I've run up an embankment and I'm hoping I can get a bit of a clearer view up there. It's pretty good this time of the year because the leaves are off the trees at the moment, so you can see a bit better. As you can see, that's Tutbury Castle. It was where Queen Mary of Scots was imprisoned a couple of times or so. But we'll wander along. To that side of me is the river dove running along. And at the moment I'm just walking alongside of the end of the cricket pitch, pavilion pitch. Probably can see better now I'm a bit higher up. Can you imagine a great big mill there, working flat out. Children from what ages up I don't know. I've definitely seen them as young as 12. I'm not sure how young they would have been when they started. I haven't got the dates for when the mill was first in operation. But yeah, if that wasn't old enough, then we have got the castle. Now the castle, Tutbury Castle, was built, well, in the times of the Normans built it. It was originally a wooden castle, which they later rebuilt in stone. But we'll walk along and see if I can see it a bit better further down. Okay, so we've walked this far. You can just see the white tip of the cricket pavilion over there. And there's the mound, the hill that Tutbury Castle is built on. You can see little bits. I could just about see John O'Gaunt's gateway just over the top. And I think that's the keep, the other side. So I'll walk around a bit further because this isn't the end of our walk. We do walk a bit further yet before we turn around and come back. So this is probably the best point. I can see the most of it. Take you in a bit. You can see parts of the castle there on the other side. At the end of it there. I think you could just see the high tower there. Oh, I made it fuzzy now, in the distance. So yeah, it's a really historic place for a walk. But we haven't finished yet. So this is where we end our walk, at the weir. How sparkling does that look with the sun shining? So this is the River Dove, flows along. See, it's all sandy down there. When we were children, there was lots of sand down there, and it was like going to the seaside for us. And we used to paddle in the edge there. You'd bring picnics. Mum and Dad would pack your picnics and you'd all come down together on a Sunday afternoon or something if you're going for a walk, and sit and play in what was the sand. And my dad used to teach us how to skim stones across the river. Yeah, it's quite a nice spot. Swing around. I try not to swing it too fast. Me camera skills are not brilliant. I make people motion sick. We can just see the castle up there. So we walked all like along the bottom of it, so to speak. And beyond that is the cricket pavilion and the old mill park where we came through. So we tend to have a nice walk. What we normally do is sort of walk along the river end, and we come around this side, and then we walk back down, come to this spot, and we walk back along the top end. Shouldn't put my finger there, should I? I'm making you blurry. And we walk back along there, and that's normally what we do. We used to do it every evening when it wasn't raining. We haven't done it recently, but I think we're going to be doing that again. So it's a nice walk, especially on a nice day. It's really pleasant. And a lot of people bring the dogs down here. That's the only thing you do have to be careful. Keep your dogs on a lead when you see other dogs, because it is a popular spot. And Cassie loves it. However, today, we've walked mainly down this top end, so I could show you the castle and that. But I think we're going to go back the other way, because up that end there was a muddy spot, and Cassie's just rolled in it. It's full of water and mud, because it's like a little stream trickling through, and you go over a little bridge. So we decided we'll go back the other way, because she's got herself a bit mucky and I don't want her to go back into it again. And there she is down on the river bank, hopefully washing her paws off. She's just come out of the groomers. She was beautiful, golden, been bathed, had her nails done, her hair cut, and now she looks like she needs another bath. But hey-oh, she's loving it. She'll sleep well tonight. In fact, we all will. So yeah, it's a lovely spot to come to, and that's our walk. So like I say, you know, whatever walk you go on, whatever park you go to play at, there's something there educational. No matter what it is, you can always find something that's educational. So now I shall see you again now next Tuesday for another homeschool vlog. Sean breaks up on Friday and she'll have 2 weeks off Easter holidays, because as you know, we keep with the school holidays so she can associate with friends and things like that. So yeah, that's it for this week. So take care of yourselves and we'll see you next week. Bye.